when I say it's hard, it is. But you know what? Like, there's parts where it's easy because if I didn't have people like that in my life, I don't even know where I'd be, man.
All right, for season 6, my next guest, we tried to do a podcast last year, but it didn't work out. But I
Yeah.
have him on my show today. So Javon, the Lion Blackstock, he's a pro boxer, a father, a coach, and he has inspirational messages on his IG page, which I like scrolling through sometimes. And before I introduce him, there's one that I really liked that I pulled up the other day. Work hard in silence. Let your success be the noise.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, Javon, welcome to Real Talk with Star Scorpio. How you doing today?
Yo, man, I'm good. I appreciate you having me on here. This is awesome, man. So I again, I appreciate you, and let's do this, man. I'm good.
Yes. All right. On Real Talk, we like to build a timeline first, right?
Yeah.
So let the people know, where were you born and raised?
All right, man. So I was born in Toronto. Kind of rough neighborhood, one of the roughest. Jane and Finch. Um, I was only there for like I don't know 4 or 5 years of my life. My mom took us here to Kingston,
Mhm.
and it was probably the best thing for her to do, man. You know, we 5 kids on her own, and she did it right. That's the I could go on about her all day, but you know she did it right. So yeah, I've been in Kingston since. I moved out to Calgary for a little bit for some work, and I'm back home.
Back home, Kingston, Ontario. For those of you who don't know, Jane and Finch is one of those areas, pretty rough,
Oh yeah,
in the
yes,
city of
sir.
Toronto growing
Yes.
up. And yeah, so that's one of the best moves you're saying your mom made to Kingston, Ontario, right?
Honestly, man, like I ain't gonna lie, definitely. I think definitely. You know, four boys, one girl. You don't know what we would have went into in that life, especially around there. So, I mean, I'm not saying like Kingston did any like well it did better. I mean, we still got in trouble here, but it's just you never know out there. So it
Yeah.
was definitely a good move on her end for sure.
Yeah. See, I want to just touch on that too, because I know where you grow up can influence how you are as a young adult and an adult. I
Absolutely.
want to I want to ask you, do you think that you would have went down the wrong path? Because just to let you know, I grew up in North York, but
Yeah.
when I was born, my brother and I, we lived in Vaughan Road. So
Yeah.
little Jamaica down there, right? And I was always wondering if I would have been different, and I think I would have. So what about you?
You know what? That's a good question, but it all depends on everyone. Like depends on you, the person, and stuff like that. So like the way we are, I don't think we would have went down the wrong path. But I mean, we're those type of people that like like just we care for other people. We try to help a lot of people and stuff like that. So who knows what would have happened? But I like in a short version, I'd have said like no, we probably wouldn't have went down the wrong path. But um, in life, right? Life's a toss up. You never know in life. So
Yeah, and I think it helps when you have the family structure too, with the parents, right? That plays a
facts.
big factor on a
Yeah.
lot of things. So in Kingston now, you went to school in Kingston then. Do you remember your high school years? I like to touch on that too, man.
Oh man, that was it was funny. We were just talking about this the other day, me and my boys. I loved high school, man. I loved high school. If I go back, I'd go back to grade 11, I say. But yeah, I loved high school, man. We started off right, and then what I mean by that is like we were all like together, same high school.
Mhm.
Um, I loved it, man. I don't know how else to say it. I loved high school.
Okay, so I don't want to age people. I don't know if you watch some of my podcast, but
Oh
I'm up there, right? I'm 49. I
yeah.
tell people, and I age people on this, but you seem young, man. So how old are you?
I'm 33.
Oh, you're still a youngin' too, but
Yeah, I'm still in my prime. I'm
you
still in
still
my prime. Yes, sir.
yes. But and so you grew up in the social media era too. So your friends, you never, yeah, kind of, right?
Kind of, yeah.
But what I'm saying too is you never lost touch with your friends then, right? Because
Oh no. No,
Yeah.
man. No, that's how we grew up, man. Like once you're in the family and you're close and we see good in you and stuff like that, you're in, we're in, and like never try to lose touch. I
Hmm.
don't. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like losing friends, man. That's for sure.
Sweet, man. And going back on school now, what did you excel in, man? Were you good in the math and the science and the English?
Honestly, math. Yeah, I love math. I like math. I wish I actually took it farther because I am good with numbers. But everything else, man, like it just high school is fun, man. High school is fun. I was, like running around, chasing girls. Girls would chase me, playing ball. Like just being with the family. Like I said, we're all together, so it was good, man. I mean, I wish I did. Obviously, I could say that now, and I want that for my kids. But like, I wish I did excel and like kind of focus more on a few things. But you know what? I'm happy with the way it turned out. I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, you're blessed, man. Were you into sports back then too? Because
Oh
you're
man,
talking about ball. I know you're a boxer now, which we're gonna get into,
yeah,
but
yeah,
soccer, basketball, what was your sport?
everything, man. To be honest, everything. So I started off with soccer. I love soccer. Basketball over though. Like I that's my sport, man. Like if I go back somewhere and go do it, I will. But like basketball is my sport. But then we played everything. We played football.
Yeah.
Like, we tried hockey, but it was one of those sports. I was like, it might be a little expensive for us right now, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Wait, so I always see a flag in the background. Where
Oh,
are
for
your
sure.
roots, man? Tell me your roots.
Oh man, Jamaican. My dad's Jamaican. My mom's Guyanese. She's from Guyana. So, yeah, just that's it really. And yeah.
So you have a mix too. I'm Bayesian Guyanese. My mom's Barbados, my dad's Guyana.
Oh yeah, bless,
Yeah,
bless. Yeah.
got a mix called South American West Indian.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
now tell me something. Let's get into this, man.
Yeah.
Um, how were you introduced to boxing? Because it was my dad. Like from when I was young,
Yeah.
Ali Frazier. That's all I heard about back in the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. I
You know what
hear
I
you.
mean? But how were you introduced to boxing?
Honestly, again, every sport we watched all the sports and boxing and UFC were one of those things that once we watched it more and got into it more and like kind of like touched on it and like try to learn it more,
Mhm.
it was over from there. And then once I got to the gym down here and actually like pursued it and started doing it, I was just like, okay, like this is something I could do. I'd rather fight in a ring and get paid for it or just for free amateur other than fight on the streets and get in trouble.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. I want to know that how you got into it. So I see that, but you must have studied some of the greats then. Like
oh,
depending on the
honestly, Tyson. Come on, Tyson was my dog. Ali for sure, but like for my age too, like I remember like Lennox Lewis and all those guys. Like I remember we had a party at our house and we had one of the Lennox Lewis and Tyson fight on, and
yeah,
it blew everyone's mind. It was crazy, man. So I mean, I jumped into that and I went to the gym at the age of 26,
yeah.
just down here in Kingston, and I loved it, man. I loved it.
Did you do your research though from back in the days? Because when my dad told me about it, and then when
Yeah,
I started watching boxing, I went back to Joe Louis and Sugar Ray Robinson,
yeah,
Rocky
yeah,
Marciano, and then of course the new era with I didn't I wasn't into really like the light middleweight, like the
yeah.
Mayweather and all that everyone talks about. I think I was more into the heavyweight fight.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. No,
Mhm.
honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't really do my homework like with those guys back in the day. Those big names I obviously just heard of, and like I looked them up and stuff like that, and just I was like, this is art, man. This is awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So now when you go to the gym and everything,
yeah.
how do you really start? Like, tell me about the elevation of the career. So you start as an amateur boxer, you find the coach. Get me into that.
Honestly, my
Route.
story is a little different to be completely honest, man. Like I went there again down the street from where I lived. It was a gym down here in Kingston on Montreal Street, and I don't have I still to this day don't even have a coach, but like I
Wow.
I train myself. I bounce from gym to gym and stuff like that. But like I just I just got there, said I could do this. I was not good at the start, man. I remember going in there just like I was talking shit. Sorry if I swearing, but
Mhm.
um, it wasn't good at the start, man. So I had to learn for sure. But like from where I see myself back in the day till now, it's like it's a huge accomplishment. It's awesome. It's awesome.
So the training, so you must train with a lot of people too, right? In the gym,
Yeah,
in the club and things
yeah.
like
Well,
that,
like
right?
our gym, like it's a smaller gym out here, but like there's a lot of young kids like coming up like that, like in the doing their amateur thing. Me, honestly, man, I had 5 amateur fights, and I said that's enough. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go do pro. Like I think I could do this. I could do pro. A lot of other guys, man, like this one guy just lost to in Vancouver, man, Benit, probably close to 100 fights, amateur fights, like kickboxing and stuff like that. Like I've had 8 fights in my life. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I probably should have stayed this more amateur, but this is my journey, man. I think my story is gonna be good, and I'm just gonna keep going with it.
Yeah, I like your drive, man. I'm telling you. And
Uh,
since you touched on Benit, let me ask you about that right now though. So I watched the fight.
yeah,
So Benit Beasley, I believe his name is.
yeah. He's a beast, man. He's
Yeah.
good. I'll see him again though. I'm not gonna praise him too much.
Yeah. But I
uh,
want to know, I want people to watch the video. Anyone who's watching or listening, you could check it out on YouTube. But
yeah,
I want to hear from your perspective, your takeaway on that fight. Because also I believe he was 6'2", and how tall are you, 5'9"?
I'm 5'9". Yeah,
Yeah, so
I don't
tell
want
me
to make
about the fight.
excuses. I don't
Yeah.
want to make excuses, but like this is on God, man. I didn't spar once the whole like session, like that whole training session, like that whole camp. I didn't spar once. Um, it was different, man. It was a different feeling. I mean, first of all, like should we have taken the fight? It was like once my manager called me, he's like, listen, it's it's you're the main card, like main fight. Do you want to do this? It's against a guy that beat your teammate. I was like, yeah, right away, yeah. You
Yeah.
know, I it's not an excuse. I didn't spar. Should have sparred. Even if I did, I think he would have still had me. He would have been the better man that night.
Hmm.
The good fighter, man. I felt good going in there though. I felt good. Like I felt ready. Um, he just had me, man. He was way better that night. I wasn't. That's like when they say there's steps and there's levels to this. Like he was on a different level that night, and he is. He is. So like he's in that elite class, and I'm gonna get there though. Like I mean, this next fight coming up here March 18th. Like you guys will see. There's a different Javon coming for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, at the end, I want you to plug that. So March 18th.
March 18th, yes sir.
Yeah. So
It's
plug
actually my
that.
dad's birthday.
Oh, blessings, man. Um, okay, so the beneath. So I had a question from one of my friends though too.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he was saying he wanted to know, how do you prioritize what is most important in a fight?
Oh man.
So there's the mental aspect of fighting,
Yeah.
and I guess the most important thing is the training, conditioning, and game plan. But how do you balance it? How do you weigh that out?
Honestly, man, it's crazy. Like with everything going on, like so, like you said at the start, man, I have a business. I have 3 kids. I have like I work. I have boxing. Like it's so much to just juggle, and it's really hard. But I make sure I find the time to try to get that training, especially the people around me too. Like I have some great people around me to help me, and it's crazy. It's crazy. But like you gotta have a good mindset going in a fight. If you're going in a fight and you're scared and you don't believe you could win, it's
Mhm.
over from there. You lost already. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So you have to be confident, and just have that heart, man. You gotta have heart.
yeah,
This is a tough game, man. Like I mean, I have a shirt that says we don't play boxing, because you don't,
yeah.
you know. So it's a tough game, man.
Wow, man. And since you touched on that, when we were supposed to do the interview,
Yeah.
because life is still there, we were supposed to do the interview, I believe, in December or November or something.
Yes, sir.
But you were busy because you had your day job, what you're doing, right?
Yeah, I have
So
a roofing business, man.
yeah. So the balance, how do you really balance that? Because now you told me you have 3 kids, you're saying?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Three
sir.
kids, you got the business and you got the boxing, and I'm sure there's many other things too.
And just yeah, life in general. You know what I mean? Life is hard already, So
Yeah.
yeah, man. It's again, it's a juggle, and you just gotta do right, and you gotta have people with you that help you. And I do have some strong people that help me, man. We have a great family, so it's when I say it's hard, it is. But you know what? Like, there's parts where it's easy because if I didn't have people like that in my life, I don't even know where I'd be, man.
Yeah, the backbone is there. I call that the backbone, man, the structure,
Facts.
man. Yeah.
Facts.
Do you have um any inclination or motivation to go to the Olympics or anything like that?
Honestly, I did, but like, I don't even know how to take those steps. Again, like I'm gonna touch back on it. I don't have a coach, man. I do this by myself. I go from gym to gym. There's this other spot out here, like it's called Gananoque, and we reach out there once or twice a week. And one of my buddies, he's a good fighter, man. He was a good fighter,
Mhm.
good guy. I mean, he's helping me out now, so it's like I I, I want to call my coach, but again, it's I don't think he is. It's just he's helping me. So I do need to find a coach, man. When you do, I'm literally doing this by myself at my home in my basement, my own gym, and I'm self-taught right now, man.
Wow, that's amazing. So you're saying when I see those clips of you hitting that bag, that's in your basement?
Yes, sir. That's in my home, man. That's my basement. That's my gym. The Lions Den. And it's like they touched on that my very first fight, man. Like I think her name's Michelle, the announcer. She was like, he trains himself, and I like that they said that because it's facts. It's true, man. Like Kingston's not the craziest. Like we don't have fighters out here, like not like boxers, pro
Yeah.
fighters, all that stuff. You do like random people, but Toronto, those big places, they have those boys, man. They have that work,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
So you the Lions Den. Now let me know how you got your name, man, because I like that, man. Javon
Uh,
the Lion Blackstock. How'd you get the name?
Yes, sir, man. Honestly, a lot. No story behind it. I love lions. I'm not even like the biggest animal person, but like lions, man. When I see them, I think I'm gonna say it like this. They're beautiful animals. I just like them, man. And I was just like, yo, it works out. It
Mhm.
works out. So I think it goes together. And I remember in Toronto at amateur fight, one of the refs, he was like, man, that sounds like a strong name. He's like, that's a fighter's name. So I'll never forget that. Yeah,
Yes, I love that name, man.
sir.
Um, I think this is the time I'm going to ask you something because the way this is flowing, this is a great time to ask this question,
Yes,
bro.
sir. Yes, sir.
This is a new question for season 6. Would you rather visit your younger self and give them advice for the future, or would you rather visit your older self and ask them advice
Mm.
because they're in the future and they know where you are right at that moment?
I like that. I like that, man. That's strong. That's easy though for me. I'd go back and give them advice. Like I give them advice. I'd give the younger me some strong advice, man. I'm only 33, but I've seen a lot. I've done a lot. I've heard a lot. Like again, life is crazy for anybody, man. And just I'd go back and give them some word of advice and tell them, everything's gonna be okay. You just gotta stay strong and keep your head up. And I'll definitely go back though for sure.
Nice. So I'm going to hit you on the same vein now.
Yes, sir.
And since I always ask this question regardless what they choose, younger or older, but
Yeah.
this is about your younger self.
Mm.
What would you tell your younger self about money?
Oh, like I tell my kids, save it, save it. Save it. Try to do something real with it. It comes and goes quick. So money is the root of evil, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But for
Yeah.
sure, it's simple as that. Save it, man. Save up a little bit. You get $100, put 20 away. Imagine you do that for 20 years. Do the math. It's crazy. You know what I mean?
I learned that late in life. Hmm.
Facts. And
What would you tell your younger self about love?
oh man, it's a good question, man. Um, it's a drug. It's a drug, man. Oh man. To be honest, I just me and my ex fiance there. We just got out of something, and it was hard, but love is just it's crazy. It's strong. It's powerful, and it's like it's something that everyone should everyone should encounter. Everyone should have love one day in their life. If it's not with your parents, with someone else, but like that's a strong word, man. And It's something me and my family, man, we tell each other every time we're on the phone, see each other, whatever, goodbyes. Like you all say, I love you. You know, it's you never know what's gonna happen. So it's a strong word, man.
Hmm. What would you tell your younger self about family?
Oh, that family's everything. Family's everything. You know, like I I don't really have friends. I have family. Like the people around me, man, like are family. You know, like all like I people, other people I kick it with, whatever. Like okay, like they might get mad when they see this, but I mean, I don't have a lot of friends, man. Family is really big to us. Like it's everything, man. It's who else do you have? You know, who else do you have in this world? Like family's everything, man.
So I want to see how you answer this last one then, because you kind of touched on friends. What would
Mm.
you tell your younger self about friends?
Friends come and go. Some are fake. I don't even know, man. I've had friends that I thought we were gonna grow up together and do things in this world together. You know, take over and stuff like that. And everyone goes their own way. You know, like when I was younger, people thought I was gonna go in some crazy bad way, blah blah blah. And then like the people that they were looking at thought they were gonna do so well and good, and it's vice versa. Not with everyone, but I honestly, I friends come and go. It's a hard thing to keep, and even like my kids now, like my son like cries about it sometimes, like oh man, me and this guy got in a fight today at school, daddy. I'm like, you know what, it's all right. A week from now, you guys will forget about that. You'd be all right.
Mhm.
You're gonna make new friends. It's okay, man. It's all right. The only people are in this world is crazy. I love meeting new people and stuff like that, but friends is they come and go, man.
Good. Thanks for sharing that, bro.
Absolutely.
Okay, I want to ask you. I want to ask you about taking that first punch.
Oof.
But before you answer that, I put an IG poll up a while ago,
All right.
and if I ask my dad, and even I believe Ali versus Tyson, hands down, I would always pick Ali. I want to know, and I think I already know the answer, but I want to know who would you pick, Ali versus Tyson, and your rationale behind it.
Man, it's everyone you get that anywhere when you talk about boxing, that question, even people who don't know boxing. So I love that question, but it's the same for me too, man. Ali, I just said, what, 5 minutes ago, something like that. Like he was so confident that he could beat anyone. He
Mhm.
could beat anyone, you know what I mean? Like Tyson too. Tyson was super confident too, but I just feel like Ali was just, he was on the next level. He's smarter, smoother, everything. Like I, yeah, I wish that fight could happen. I
Yeah.
wish we could go back in time and those everyone could just get that off the table. But my pick would be Ali for sure too.
Mhm.
Yeah,
My dad, he really dissects the matches. I love watching it with him. And he
yeah,
taught me something about Ali long time ago. He told me how strong his jab was. Not that he knows
oh yeah,
because
yeah,
he got hit by him, but
yeah,
just because he watches and studies the films. And he always said when Ali would clinch someone, they can't even get out. When he
yeah.
holds them by the neck, you know what I mean?
Strong, man,
And he was
strong
fast, you know what I mean? But yeah, I that's my pick too.
for sure, for sure.
Mhm. Okay, now taking your first punch, man. How was that feeling?
Oh, it was different. It was life changing, man. It was like it it was different. Like it was cool. It I don't know. I guess like what I'm trying to say is like it like woke me up. It was like, okay, like do I want to do this? Do I want to still do this? This is real. This is real, man. So it
Yeah.
was different, man. But the thing is, I liked it. I liked it. You know what I mean? So there was nothing to it. Like after that first punch, like I was just like, hey, this is cool. So
Mhm.
different. I liked it.
Nice. Do your kids worry about you when you're in the ring?
Pardon me?
Do your kids worry about you when you're in the ring?
Yes, sir. So my first fight there in Toronto when I fought in Kama. Oh man, I watch that video probably once a week, but
Yeah.
um, just seeing my daughter there, and my son sitting there watching me, and when I knocked him out,
Hmm.
and my son's like, yes, like when he just goes yes, and he's like biting his nails and stuff like that. I can't explain that feeling. It's crazy. It was crazy. I cry like to this day. That was a year ago. I cry still watching that video. Just But my son, it makes me cry, and my daughter jumping around. So like you could just see the fear in them. They know that we're fighting. This is real. Like it's two guys in the ring fighting, or two girls or whatever in the ring fighting, and yeah, they worry for sure. Like my son's gonna be 12 years old soon, and he's becoming a little man, so he's definitely they worry about me for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you were saying that you watch the tapes, do
Mm.
you study the tape? Because I watch a lot of boxing movies and documentaries, you name
Yeah.
it. And then I always watched, Rocky's probably one of my favorite.
All facts. Yeah.
Like Rocky Four. I love when Apollo Rocky fights Drago.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
remember from Rocky One or Two, and even in Rocky Four, like Apollo and Stallone, Rocky, they were watching the tapes and studying
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
jabs and this. Do you do that as well?
Honestly, that's a good question because I'm gonna start off by an amateur. Like we've my first fight was in Toronto too for the silver gloves, and my buddy was like, "Here's the guy you're fighting." Like, you try to show me on Facebook. I'm like, I don't want to see him. When I went to pro now, I did that for my first two fights. I didn't look up Ankama or Drake. And then like I was like, you know what? Maybe I should start doing this. Like maybe I should see what they got, see what they bring, like see what I could work with. So I mean, you should. The
Mhm.
real answer is you should
Yeah,
study your opponents for sure.
yeah,
But I just a fight's a fight, man. You know what I mean? Like I get like I could have still landed a big shot on Benit and maybe ended his night. I
yeah.
didn't though. A fight's a fight. So I am starting to watch videos. I do study my guys now, but I never used to know.
Mm, okay, that's an interesting thing. I guess some people do some. I know what you're saying though. Um, I wouldn't want to watch like this is me if I was getting into. I
No,
wouldn't want to watch. I'm like, okay, let me just go in that ring and. But
that's it. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, man, I'm watching you do all your sick highlights and you beat up guys. I'm like, I don't want to see that. It's gonna intimidate me. I'm just like, let's get in the ring and let's go. My very first amateur fight in Toronto.
Mhm.
The guy was being all cocky and stuff and dropped him second round. Boom. So I went cocky. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
see, that's how you don't need fight to fight. Someone can land a shot and end your night. I
Yeah.
could walk outside and fight a guy who not know I'm a pro fighter. He's a killer, knocks me out. A fight's a fight. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I have to start watching tapes, but I don't like to. That's facts. I don't like to.
Yeah, I understand the logic behind it. Yeah. Oh, okay. You know what? I'm not on Twitter, but
Mm.
when I was doing my research on you, right? I see the Twitter post. Let me know about Jake Paul.
Nah,
Um, I seen you posted something about Jake Paul. What's your take on him in boxing, man?
I actually, man, that's I knew that was gonna come up, and I'm glad it came up because this touches me a little bit with these YouTube fighters and these um celebrity boxing, all that stuff. That kills me. It pisses me off, and it's
Mm,
because guys like us, guys in the states, guys Toronto, Montreal, all that, all around, like the guys that are fighting, like we're busting our ass every day for this stuff. Like we are training, we are trying to get to places like where people can see us and watch us and do our thing. And these guys are here's $1 million. I could fight this person, knock them out, and think they're fighters. Like they really and I just feel like, okay, what if they're in the ring with a real fighter? Like, see what all these guys are jokers, man. I don't like that, man. I made that my Twitter just for Jake Paul, and I don't use that no more. Whatever it is, what it is. But he's a
mm,
joke to me. He's a joke.
mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got that from some of your posts.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm glad that you stay positive though. Like when I read your IG page, man, and
Oh man, you got it, man. That's how I was brought up, man. Like I said, my mom does this by herself. 5 kids, 4 boys, 1 girl. Like you, you got to stay positive in this type of world, man. Especially nowadays and everything we just went through, like that COVID stuff, man. Like we got to keep our heads up. We got to be together. So
so how was COVID when you were in the boxing realm
uh,
right now?
it,
How
it
did that
was
treat you?
it was crazy. It was it was lonely. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like I had my ex there. Like I was blessed and stuff, but it was COVID was crazy, man. I'm glad that's over right now, man. Like that was a different world we were all living in. Like like all this mass shit, everything we went through, that was crazy, man. I'm glad that's over. Everyone's safe and stuff without that. But that was crazy, man.
Yeah, that time was. I actually got close with the family. I kind of liked it, man. Like
Yeah.
working from
Well,
home. I mean, the family, the time with my dog before she passed. I had like a whole 2 years with my dog. She was on old age, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, I hear you.
But brought people together. But the whole
That's true,
everything
man. It
else.
is true.
Mhm. Yo, I'm going back for a minute. There's one post I want to read to you too because this one
Yes, sir.
inspired me. I want to know, do you post for yourself or for others? Because this one I liked as well, man. So I'm gonna read it. Um, Life is like a boxing match. Defeat is declared not when you fall, but when you refuse to stand up again. That's
Yes,
hard hitting, man. You know what I mean?
sir.
So I'm like, I love when I read people's pages like that. So do you do a lot of it to motivate yourself as well, or to make sure you share it with others?
Honestly, man, if you want the truth, is I feel like I'm one of those guys that like have to be out there, and I want to inspire people. I would love to. I'm a talker, man. I could talk all day. I love inspiring people. I love helping out the young ones and my kids and all that stuff. Like it's when I see a post like that or whatever, even lots of these own things I post are my own words too. Like that's for real, man. Like, but I post them for me that I see on my page or that I know of that I like that look at myself like my stuff that are going through tough times just try to get them a little uplift and just like man words are powerful, man. Like words could bring you up, and like those type of posts are not just for me, it's for other people. And just
Mm.
I get hits on that too, man. People just message, hey man, stay up, thank you, that helped me today, like little simple stuff like that, and then I'm good. So
Yeah, I like that, man. Bro, man, I like that. I
yes,
like
sir.
your vibe, bro. You're part of the Star Scorpio family now, bro.
I appreciate you, man. Saying, man, I love it, man. I honestly sorry about that last time. I had to get that roof done. I had to get this money. You know what I mean?
Of course.
but yeah, no, I wasn't gonna make this one slide. I'm so sorry about earlier too. I thought it said one, but I like what you do, man. You're doing your thing too, and I hope it goes up farther and farther, man.
Yeah. And then again, if I ever get this where I want it, I'll never forget the people who helped me out, man, on the way up, man.
Facts. Well, you can't, man. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Mm.
saying. You can't.
So I got one more question before I pull out these cards, man.
That's
Um, I like to ask my guests if they have any words of inspiration for others because a lot of us been through some hard times, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And I've given up on a lot of things in my life, man, when things got hard. And it sucks, man, because I would have been there. I don't regret the way my life is right now, but
yeah.
it's always like I gave up because someone maybe said something to me and I didn't have confidence, or life got too hard and I was like, no, there's too much, so I'm gonna give this up. What I
Yeah.
was dreaming about, I'm like, no, I gotta worry about bills and this and that. So forget about my passion.
Mm,
So, and there's a lot of people too. I have one guy that I know where it was over a girl. I'm not going to mention his name, but
yeah.
he wanted to end his life.
Oh,
And I was the last house he came to.
oh no.
And he said he was waiting on a gun. And I'm here in this position. Like, what do I do? I've seen this on TV many times. I'm trying to talk to him.
Yeah,
And I knew in a way that he didn't really want to do it because he's reaching out for help. He wanted help, but he
for
was
sure.
drawn. He was done for, right? And we
Mm,
ended up taking him to the hospital. I had to call someone else over. We took him to the hospital. But it's that brink where you want to give up on life.
mm.
So do you have any inspiration for anyone that's on that brink of anything?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's don't give up. Don't give up. Look back on your past and just tell yourself that already. Look back and see what you already went through. This is not the end. Don't give up. Like keep moving forward, keep your head up. Bad times are still good because it makes you stronger. And like in my life and stuff like that, I just can't give up, man. I wake up every day and I just try to stay positive. Like even if the day was ready gone to shit and it's 7 o'clock at night and bad stuff are still happening, no, don't give up. Keep your head up and just keep moving forward.
Thanks for sharing that, boy.
Absolutely, man.
All right. So we come to the point in the interview now. I got two questions in my hand. And
Yes,
I don't
sir.
say left or right anymore. I'm saying Blue Jays or Raptors.
Oh, I like it. I like it. Let's go. I'm gonna go. I go Raptors, baby. Let's go.
Right. What is one of the most memorable moments of your life?
Oh, one. Um, I could be cheesy and be like my kid's being born. That's the best thing ever, ever. But one of the most memorable moments of my life would probably have to be that 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 first fight. That first fight, man. Like I did a lot to get to that point. I was begging people to let us in, let us fight. Again, like our story, like I mean, me and my team, like the Lions, then promotion and stuff like that. Like I feel like people were looking at us like we were a joke, walking out of that tunnel like we were a joke. Like these kids, like we're all kids. We don't have grown men trainers, like old guys, like walking out with us. I thought they were looking at us like a joke. So that first fight was super memorable. I had my mom there, which was whew, my my mom and my dad watching. I don't know how they did that, man. I had a bunch of the family come and support me,
Mm.
and that 1 minute and 41 seconds when I hit them first round, and he went down, and they said it's over. I actually don't even know. I blanked out. I just knew that I could do anything. I was pumped. It was a different world, man. I felt like I was God or something. So that was definitely memorable, man. That was amazing. Amazing.
Nice. Thanks for sharing. Okay. Now, before we get into the donation, where can the people find you? Your IGs, your Facebooks, your YouTube. Let them know your IG handle and YouTubes and all that.
For sure, for sure. So it's Junior Fit Blackstock's my boxing one. I have another one I don't really run with, a family one. And Javon Blackstock on Facebook. That's it. I don't really have a YouTube. I'm trying to build that up. I'm not good with all that technology part, but
Yeah.
other than that, those are two spots you guys can find me on, man. I'd love the support.
Sweet. And then also, what fights do you have coming up? Let the people
Uh
know.
yeah, so March 18th in Alberta, Edmonton. Fight Muhammad. Don't know his last name. Don't care about his last name. Uh yeah, it's a 5 round fight. It's gonna be good, man. Again, like seen a few clips about him. He looks all right. I think it's gonna be a banger, and I just I know I'm gonna win. I know I'm gonna win. Like I said, that last one, people need to lose in life sometimes just to teach them a different thing, and I lost, and it's a different game now, man. I'm ready to go. So March 18th, you guys tune in.
Yeah. And how can they watch it? Like, how is it televised or
Yeah,
aired?
so me and my manager are gonna throw that up there closer to the date. Alliance Promotions, that's like who they fight out of. Like that's where like the promoters. I don't know much more about the link and stuff yet, but it'll definitely be up on my page, and I'll tag everyone in it. I'll let people know for sure.
All right, Lions Den, Javon Blackstock. Now I do this for donations, as you know. Who will Star Scorpio be donating to today?
So I think so. My dad is in a wheelchair. He got shot years back in Toronto, and I mean something to do with that. I don't know the correct name, but if you could something to do with like you know people in wheelchairs, like anything like that, man, I'd really appreciate that for sure.
All right, so we'll link up offline and
Yes, sir.
get that done. Perfect. All right, Javon, thanks for coming out today.
Man, thank you for having me, man. This is awesome, and I appreciate you, bro. Like your patience with me. Your questions were amazing, and you're doing your thing. So that's love, that's respect, man, for sure. I appreciate you.
Yes, anytime. Season 6, Real Talk with Star Scorpio, and we out.
Yes, sir.